Hello, welcome back to Aligned and Abundant. This is module 3, and we are talking about power today. So I came on a little bit early because I know that tech has just been not really my friend. So I'm going to make sure that I can see all of your comments here. Sujin, yes, let me know that you can hear me. Drop a comment so that I can make sure that I am actually seeing a comment here because yesterday it was not working. So I am so excited to be here with you today. This is honestly one of my favorite topics. So I can't wait to dive in and get started. So let me know that you can hear me. Again, I'm coming on a little bit early. Hi, perfect. Okay, I can see comments. Sharon, thank you so much. Okay, cool. And we've got a little guest today. We've got a little baby guest, right? Are you going to be good? Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Are you tired? Oh, it's okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. So everybody can hear me. I see Sharon on. I know that I'm coming on a little bit early today, but even if you are watching the replay, just comment like you would if you were joining us live, because I want to be of service to help you create shifts on all levels of your business. Hello, I see Marlene here. Okay, so we got Sujin, Sharon, Marlene. Hi. Yes, perfect. I can see comments today. I don't know why yesterday was just not my friend. But again, maybe it's here to show that no matter what happens, you don't have to be perfect. It's okay if things don't work out. You just pivot. I see Valetta. Hello. Okay, cool. So let's dive right in. I want to hear from you. What new insights, what breakthroughs have you had about your business so far? Because we're right in that midpoint of the training series here. So I want to hear from you. Hi. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. So let me know. What are some of the breakthroughs that you have had? Maybe blind spots. Hi, Melissa's here. Cool. Okay, I see a bunch of people joining. Awesome. What are some of the blocks and blind spots that you realized, things that you didn't realize that are now in your awareness? If something doesn't work, we just move on. Don't get paralyzed. Absolutely. It's okay. Have a mantra like, okay. So we pivot. It's okay to pivot. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just making sure I see all the comments here. Cool. So today we're going to be talking about power. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know I always talk about the David Hawkins vibrational scale. And if you are brand new to this work, I highly recommend quickly just Google David Hawkins vibration scale and pull that up so that we can go through this together. The idea is that we all vibrate at a certain level of awareness. And I'm just going to turn off my sound there. At the very base of this, have a group of aligned people to keep the momentum and the good energy going. Yes, absolutely. Marlene, check, check. So David Hawkins studied this vibrational scale. He came up with this model that showed, after muscle testing thousands of people, that we all calibrate at a certain level of awareness. So if you look at that scale, it looks like a cone, and at the very bottom is shame. Shame, guilt, fear, apathy, and as you move up the scale, you rise in power. So today is all about power. And the reason why we want to look at this is because so many of us, and I know this was me in 2012, I had so many blind spots. I had shame, I had victimhood, I had a lot of these lower frequencies that I was holding in my body that were preventing me from showing up to my life and my business and my relationships with power. And coming from an empowered place allows you to impact more people. It allows you to show up and shine as your true self. Because if you look at that scale, everything under 200 calibrates as falsehood, meaning that anybody that calibrates underneath that level of courage tends to have, whether it's shame or victimhood or guilt, they're calibrating at a lower frequency and actually pulling energy from the environment and those around them. And the reason why this is important is because anybody that calibrates above 200 is empowered, and they give life back to the people around them, and they take radical ownership of their energy. And when you show up with this level of power to your business and you release these lower levels, that's when you impact more people. That's when you make more money. That's when you attract and you open your heart to receive divine downloads, infinite possibilities, right? Because if we're closed, we can't receive anything. Discomfort is necessary for growth. If we don't ever get uncomfortable, we can't change. Absolutely. So I'm going to get real with you today. We're talking about empowerment. And I want you to be radically honest about these blind spots that I'm going to be. It's like a mirror. Today is like a mirror. I am reflecting back to you some of the blocks and blind spots that you might not even know exist in your energy right now. And I want to give you permission to radically speak the truth and be like, I'm still blaming so and so. I'm still holding on to victimhood in this area of my life, because we need to clear this. If you look at that base level of the David Hawkins chart, shame, it drags your energy down. Shame loves to hide in the dark. And so if we're holding on to shame, then we're going to sabotage everything we do. And I'm going to tell you about my personal story quickly about the fact that when I had guilt and shame back in 2012, nothing in my life worked because I kept sabotaging myself, having bad connection. Uh-oh, hopefully, can everybody else hear me, see me? I'm going to keep going here. So just a quick story and a personal story about what this looks like if we're holding on to this shame and guilt is we have these different patterns that show up, and it's all very unconscious, that sabotages every area of our lives. And so I had so much trauma from my childhood. Connection, good for me. Thanks, Melissa. So much childhood trauma. And I had absorbed, because I'm an empath, absorbed so much of the shame and blame from the toxic environment that I was in. But I was a victim. And it wasn't until a coach mirrored to me in a personal development seminar that I was a victim, that, oh, this happens to me all the time. Oh, nothing ever works out for me. I date men that abuse me. I had that identity. It wasn't until someone mirrored that back to me that I was like, oh. So I had two choices in that moment. I could be like, screw you to the coach and keep the vicious cycles going, or I could take radical ownership of my life. And I chose in that moment to say, okay, I'm done. I am done abusing my body. I had an eating disorder where I would wake up every night and binge on unhealthy food. And it was almost like an unconscious way of covering my true self. I had anxiety. I was depressed. I was dating men that abused me verbally because it was so familiar to what I had grown up with. And it was that pivotal moment, standing up, I'm getting chills, standing up in front of 100 people with a microphone, crying, so vulnerable and open, where I made that decision. I said, you're right. I am done with being a victim of saying that like everything around me is impacting my circumstance. I took my power back and I said, this is what I'm declaring. I'm a stand for myself, and I don't have to plug into those beliefs anymore. So I took my power back. That's how quickly transformation can happen. It's with your awareness, with your choice and decision and declaration. So I want to ask you some questions so that we can uncover some of these blind spots. And just as a note, this has been studied through the David Hawkins research that the higher you calibrate in power, if you look at the level of love, it's at the level 500. As you rise in power, your impact increases exponentially. So anybody that calibrates at that level of love can impact 750,000 people below the level 200. So when I learned this 10 years ago, 12 years ago, however long it was, I was like, oh my God, this impacts everybody. Their health, right? Like if you have a patient that's disempowered, they most likely have these patterns of victimhood, shame, guilt, fear, some of those lower frequencies. And so part of what I do and what I've, even the release and rise retreat is I look at someone's energy and I can feel where they're experiencing some of these emotions, like where there's shame or blocked energy that needs to be released so that you can rise in power and impact the world with your brilliance. Again, I want you to think about shame loves to hide. Like when I had my eating disorder, I didn't tell anybody. And it was because of that, because I was holding on to that, that I, again, was not having a workable life. So if you're finding yourself in these vicious cycles and repeated patterns, there's most likely guilt and shame at the crux of it, at the root of it. And this can impact your patients too. So feel free to share this as well. Okay. So who is here and ready? Just type right in the chat. I am ready to own my shit. I'm ready to own my patterns, my guilt, my victimhood, my shame, all of it. I'm ready to own this so that I can rise. Let me know. So speaking the truth is how you start doing that. Telling the truth on yourself. Hi, Tara. Okay, I see a bunch of people. Ready. Janet's here too. Yes. Awesome. Ready. Okay. Love it. Love the enthusiasm. Okay. So, can you identify any of the following in your life right now? Any areas that you're still blaming other people, and maybe you jot this down for yourself, and then you share it in the chat with me here. So, as I'm saying this out, just jot these down. Is there anywhere in your life that you're still blaming somebody? Your ex-husband, your father, whoever abused you in the past, um, an ex-boss. We're really going to scour any areas of your consciousness for these things that I'm going to be sharing here. So blame. And maybe it's so unconscious that you don't realize it. And that's, again, the blocks and blind spots that we can't see for ourselves because we're so close. We're so close to ourselves. We're with ourselves every day. And so that's the power of coaching, is I'm lovingly saying, hey, here's the mirror. Okay. Where are you still blaming other people? The energy has to go somewhere. So either we're blaming someone or we're taking on the energy, which is typically like what I do. I was actually doing both. I'll call myself out. So I was taking on the shame and the victimhood, and the energy from the abuse that I had experienced got turned in on myself. And so I was abusing myself. And I was really hard on myself and had a loud inner critic. And that was what was keeping my eating disorder going. There were a lot of things that kept it going. Okay. Who are you still blaming? This is the deep work, guys. I didn't say that aligned and abundant was going to be all rainbows and butterflies. Right through the blame, not forgiving myself. Okay. There it is. There's your opportunity right there. So forgiveness for self. And Janet, we're going to work on this together, right? This is exactly what we're going to be doing together in our one-on-one sessions. Okay, so blame. Shame and victimhood. So the way that victimhood, I'm just going to read some of these things out. Victimhood often says, I have no control over this certain area of my life or these circumstances. My happiness depends on these external factors changing. Like, I can't be happy until I quit my pharmacy job. I can't make my business work until, right? Another way victim mentality shows up is this happens to me. A lot of black and white thinking, like, oh, see, it never works out. My relationships don't work out. See, told you. Resentment or bitterness, blaming others is a form of victimhood. Avoiding responsibility, self-pity, or I've tried everything and nothing changes. Any of those things. Again, radical ownership here. The thing about the David Hawkins chart is that we have a choice in every moment to shift our consciousness. But there's a payoff, there's a hidden payoff typically of staying stuck where we're at. So, as an example, say that you are wanting a relationship. Well, I already left my retail job. Okay, cool. Marlene, for you, I'm feeling like I'm curious as I go through these prompts what your answers are. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait and see if you can uncover it. So, where are you, and maybe this is in your business, where are you avoiding responsibility or saying, I've tried everything and nothing's working? We want to clear that. Because it's very black and white thinking. It doesn't allow any spaciousness. Because the truth is, you haven't tried everything. There are a million solutions out there. I have no control over my circumstances. That's what victim mentality sounds like. Anything that you're ashamed of, that you don't want anybody to know about you, that is what needs to be cleared in order to rise in power. Anything you feel guilty about from the past that you're still beating yourself up over. Yeah. I want to hear from you. Because if we're operating from this very heavy energy, we talked about particle movement yesterday, it's like having a bowling ball versus a snowflake. I'm looking at the snow outside. The energy is very dense if we're holding on to shame and guilt. And so it's going to feel very difficult for us to move forward in our business. And we're going to keep repeating this vicious cycle of guilt and shame and things not working out because there is that unconscious payoff. I'm curious if you guys can identify for yourself if you are stuck in self-pity, as an example, there's a payoff to that because you get to keep repeating the same story of, see, look what happened to me. This is what happened. And I didn't even realize I was doing that recently. And I had saw a therapist a little bit after Lindsay was born just to get some extra support. And she's like, you're like playing this out. And so I had to stop telling my story about me getting kicked out and da 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 da, like that whole thing. I haven't even really shared about it because I was like, okay, I'm ready to let it go. It's so slow and perfect. Okay. Yeah. Typically, it's something from our past, guilt, shame, something around our identity, like, oh, I'm a highly sensitive person, and like that's a bad thing. That's kind of how it showed up for me. Everybody's going to have something different. So again, there's typically a payoff to us staying stuck because then we don't have to be seen. Then we don't have to put ourselves out there and get rejected. Then we don't have to actually take ownership of our shit. So let that land for a second. Because most likely this has been a blind spot or unconscious. And we want to lovingly just say, thank you for protecting me. These different parts that come up for us. The shame, the guilt, that's at the crux of it. Then we develop these emotional defense mechanisms. Then we have, the protective parts like people pleasing or unworthiness or all of these things that kind of are at the top layer symptom. At the crux, at the root is typically shame, victimhood, guilt. So let's take radical ownership right now. That's the first part of this, is identifying it. So what do you think happens when you release this emotion or these lower frequencies? I want to hear from you. Come on, guys, let's utilize this time. Because in order to truly shine, we have to look at our shadow. We have to look at the things that are dimming our light unconsciously. so that we can show up brilliantly, confidently, own our prices. Most of the time, if we have unworthiness or whatever is blocking us, when you go on sales calls, as an example, and you have these patterns and unworthiness and shame and guilt, you're going to sabotage every time, right? So we want to clear this so you have a workable business, so you have a workable health journey, meaning you move forward. You're not cycling in the same vicious cycles over and over again. And again, I've done this in every area, with relationships, with my body, with my business. I've played this all out before. I've been on that hamster wheel. So don't feel like you're alone here. Others start to notice your confidence. Absolutely. You have more opportunities. You rise in power. It doesn't mean that you never have fear. It means that you take radical ownership of your life and everything that comes with it. This is also, for those of you who are authors in the book, this exercise is going to help you show up with more conviction and more magnetism in your writing. And so as we start to own these different parts of us that are really hard to look at, then we start speaking the truth. Then we start showing up and owning both the shadows and our gifts. Because if you are holding on to this, you're going to sabotage showing up and shining, whatever that looks like. So come on, let's hear it in the comments here. Is this resonating? How is this showing up right now? That's the next part of this. Okay, we have these different emotions, undigested emotions from the past. How do you think this bleeds through into your business? So unworthiness, as an example, how would you show up to sales conversations? In your messaging, how would that look? Yes, resonating. If you had unworthiness and you were holding on to that, I'm not good enough, I can't, nothing ever works out for me. How do you think you're going to be showing up to your life? We're not powerless. So when you take this ownership, you automatically move up that scale. You move up past the level of 200, which is courage. Procrastination with the fear, not good enough. Yep. But Janet, you walked through that door today. Today was the day. Mark, what, today's the 7th, January 7th. You walked right through that door. And I'm so proud of you. This is it. So it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have the patterns. And what are you declaring of who you want to be in this moment? The possibility that you're creating for your business and your life is, finish that sentence. Showing up powerfully. That could be it. Showing up in my truth, speaking my truth. And then feeling everything else just fall off your shoulders. Typically, we hold energy in a certain area of our body. So typically, it's either like the heart, the stomach, it could be your throat. And this is more of the inner work that we would do in one-on-one sessions to uncover whatever that undigested emotion is, to release it and to create an opening. Because if we're stuck in survival, we're going to keep repeating the same patterns. Our energy is tied up in survival. When you release that, you open yourself up for creation. You tap into infinite possibilities. You rewire your subconscious mind for all of the things that God's been trying to pour into your life. But you're like this. I don't deserve it, right? The unworthiness that comes through. So it's time to let go of the shield, to open up, take radical ownership, put that queen crown on, and allow yourself to receive. that you are so worthy and deserving of good things in your life, no matter what's happened to you. So I want to hear from you here. And I'll give you a tangible example. I had a client that was feeling guilty over a past client situation. Sorry, Penny's moving. And she was repeating these vicious cycles over and over again, kind of felt stuck in her business. And I diagnosed the crux of it was guilt. She felt guilty over a past client situation. We worked through some forgiveness and did some powerful nervous system work together. She called in a $20,000 client. So this work does work. It opens you up to receive. That was something that I realized about myself too when I was going through holding on to all this density in my energy and all this fear, was that I pushed good things away, whether it was opportunities, whether it was a good guy, whether it was, I don't know, treating my body well. So when we stop fighting ourselves, we can open up to receive all of the blessings that God has for us. And in turn, you can then circulate your wealth and grow your business and give to nonprofits and create a scholarship and give to your neighborhood. And that is truly what expanding your brilliance is all about. That's what I wrote about in the book. It is this beautiful creation of effortless abundance, but we have to do the inner work first to even be able to pour from a full cup. Because if we're depleted, we're not going to come to our business with speed, like we talked about yesterday, and excitement and enthusiasm. If we're depleted, burnt out, we're dimming our light, we're not going to have the power to change the world, to impact people through coaching and programs and retreats and speaking. So I'm a stand for your greatness. It starts here. It's the inside out approach. Yes, you can have the strategy. Yes, you can have the blueprint and the roadmap and all of those things. But it's about energetic alignment, aligning with your soul, releasing the things that are not serving you anymore, that you've held on to for a long time, so you can show up and shine and skyrocket your confidence, clients, and cash flow. So I'm just going to check because I don't see any more comments here, but maybe everybody's just deep in thought. So let me know your thoughts here. And what are you declaring? So we've kind of identified and pinpointed, or maybe if you haven't, let me know that too. You've identified some of these blocks. Mm-hmm. Until we move beyond survival mode. Janet, how is survival mode showing up for you currently? Because as an example, if it's overwhelm and there's no capacity to receive, right? It's like having too many clothes in the closet. You can't stuff one more shirt in there. If we're always overwhelmed or we're rushing around, we're so busy, you don't have capacity to be present and grounded and actually receive. So again, pausing in this moment, is that how survival mode shows up for you? Overwhelmed, constantly packing your schedule, always being busy to avoid having to feel anything. That's another big way that this shows up. Where did I focus one thing at a time? But what about your embodiment, Marlene? Who are you declaring to be? Who would that person have to be organized and focus on one thing at a time? And what would you have to let go of? I feel like there's a belief there around, like, can I do it? Am I capable of doing it? That's kind of the energy that I feel from what you're sharing. And so you would need to rise in belief and to come from a different level of power. A lot of this comes from connection with yourself. So when you connect with yourself through this work, you understand your own emotions and therefore you can help hold space for other people. If you can't do that, then it's going to be really hard to connect with your ideal client. It's going to be difficult to write a magnetic messaging post where that client's like, oh my God, that's me. So this work directly translates to your magnetic messaging, your ability to connect in sales conversations, literally your whole business. Yep. Not opening my stop and focus. I'm the master of checklists, things I've done, my mental, physical. Yep. Being successful in tasks. Right. So that's unworthiness, Marlene, not being good enough. Right. So we want to just identify that. How is that a payoff for you? How has that been serving you? Because I guarantee everybody, I know I've heard that from a lot of you here, whether it's, you're in my other programs. How does unworthiness, because it's a protective part of you, what's the payoff of holding on to that? And I know these are really deep questions, but I promise it's going to create a breakthrough. I'm going to give you a couple minutes here to really think about this. What's the payoff of holding on to unworthiness and believing that you're not good enough? What do you then get to avoid? Delaying my purpose to help more people. There's a sense of powerlessness there. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, right? When that's not true. And it's a very covert way of hiding who we really are. So behind perfectionism and unworthiness is we're afraid to be seen. We're afraid to truly be seen as ourselves, as who we are. Got it. Yep, Melissa. Unworthiness keeps you from showing up and putting yourself out there. Yes. Keeps you small, hidden, safe. Okay. Avoiding the unknown. Boom. Ooh, yep. hmm Yeah, exactly. It keeps you safe, keeps you comfortable. Like, oh, yep, let's just keep you suppressed over here. But what is the truth? If you could take radical ownership of this and you could declare something about yourself, the possibility you're inventing for your business and your life is what? To stop hiding, to show up, to show up powerfully, to stop acting like you're powerless because you're not. How does that feel? I want to hear from everybody. What new actions would you take? Yep. Freedom to enjoy my knowledge and skills. Got yep. What new actions would you take if you showed up powerfully to your business and you stopped pretending that you don't know what you're doing, that you need to learn more, that you need to be different or anything? Follow your example. I'm here as a guide. I'm just helping you uncover and reveal who you really are. So following your inner wisdom, following your what feels alive and exciting to you with your unique soul blueprint, how you want to create your business. So if you were to show up powerfully, you would show up real and authentic and share the things that are hard to share and truly connect with your audience. They can Google a lot of the things like drink more water, eat your vegetables. They know that. Going back to that David Hawkins chart that I talked about, People have disempowering behaviors because they're holding on to this shame, guilt, fear, apathy, all of those frequencies. So that's the work. Empowerment. What David Hawkins found was that everybody above 200 had healthy behaviors. They took care of themselves. They had self-promoting, or what's the word? They were involved with. They automatically did the healthy habits, is what I'm trying to say. So it's the energy we have to shift within our patients that's going to allow them and unlock in them their natural ability to heal. So they all know about what they should be doing, but these guilt and shame vicious cycles tend to keep people stuck in that unhealthy pattern. I tell people, if I am confident in myself, other will. Exactly. Boom. Melissa, just dust your shoulder off right there. Stop pretending like you're powerless and like you don't know enough. That's 2024. We're showing up differently in 2025. So I want to hear you all say this. I'm done pretending. What are you done pretending? Claim it right now. This is the work right here. So I'm really proud of you guys. I'm holding space for you as you think about this. What are you done pretending? That you're powerless, that you don't know enough, that you need to hide who you are. You need to be younger, older, thinner, whatever. Just say it all. Get it out. And by the way, this is the power of a mastermind group. So we're not even in a Zoom call right now, but all of you are seeing there's a lot of similarities with each other, right? So like everybody here can resonate with unworthiness and how that's showing up. That's the power of having a mastermind group, of being witnessed with other people going through a similar journey, to have collective shared wisdom to accelerate the path, because most likely the people in that group have been there and they can resonate with you. I'm done pretending I don't know what I'm doing. I'm done pretending I don't deserve to be super successful. Claim it right here and now, January 7th, 12:33 p.m. I laugh to lighten this because sometimes this can be really heavy. And so we want to just add a little bit of levity here. Beautiful, Janet. Boom. Kicking off the new year. Okay, everybody else, let's go. Come on, there's 5 more people on this chat. No hiding. And if you're doing something else like scrolling, this is where it's at. Come back to this tab. Done feeling not good enough. I have proof in my own life. Happiness is possible when we start forgiving ourselves and others. Leave behind the low feelings. Yes. So what are you done pretending, Marlene? I really want to hear you nail this. I'm done pretending. Fill in that blank. And at every next level, we can keep doing this work. Like I probably should be doing this work as well to get to my next level. So I'll do one with you. I'm done pretending that I'm not ready for a TED Talk. There it is. Because I think I was like, do I want to do one? Do I not want to do one? I'm done pretending I don't want to do one. I'm not afraid of showing up. I'm done creating excuses for not showing up. Okay. Gorgeous. Awesome. You're here right now, and I'm celebrating that. Okay. What are you now declaring of how you are going to be showing up? Grounding in, feeling into the embodiment of the person that has the result already. I'm not ready to take my message of health to the world. Yeah. Marlene, I need to hear more about you and your messaging. and less about drinking plenty of water and exercising, and that's great too, right? But we want to vary up the content. I want to hear about you. Why are you the one that we should be listening to about health? What struggles have you been through? How have you helped other people? Those are the kind of stories I would want to hear from you. Done pretending. Oh, Melissa, I'm leaving the past behind. It was so 2 years ago. Oh, I'm like crying right now. This is so beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Oh, this is so great. Okay. Now that I'm just fully crying on camera here with you, it's tears of joy. I want you to think back to that example of the picture. And so now we have the focus, we know where our target is. We have the speed, we have the wind up with the power, and tomorrow is all about momentum. When you are in alignment with your soul, when you take radical ownership of your patterns, the good, the bad, the ugly, the victimhood, and you show up and shine, and you are all in on your business, how can you fail? You can't fail. That is what aligned, abundant, and all in is all about. It's being resilient. It's being vulnerable. It's going all in on yourself because there is that strong conviction and belief. And we need to anchor into that energetic frequency before we see those physical results. So I am just so proud of you all for showing up so vulnerably with me here. You are always safe in any of my programs and any of my containers to share your soul, to share your fears, your biggest dreams and desires. Hey, I did today. So what happens when you create this, when you have the wind up, when you have the focus and you're in alignment and you put your desires out there, whether it's a post about who you work with and your soul clients, or it's like, hey, I want to start showing up and speaking on big stages. It creates an energetic vortex and a momentum that has people dropping into your world. That is the beauty of doing this energetic work. Because just like when you go to throw that baseball, the metaphorical baseball, when you have all of these qualities together, I'm crying too. Oh, Melissa, I need to give you a big, big hug. I'm giving you a virtual hug. There's that release, right? This is one of the biggest shifts that changed the trajectory for me, that releasing the victim. So I am right there with you. And there's layers to this. So it's okay if like these things come up again. You're like, I thought I did this. I thought I did this work. It comes up again, but that's beautiful because it's like, okay, here we go. I'm stepping in again. I'm stepping in again, or stepping out again, stepping out of my comfort zone and into possibility. So creating this energetic vortex by showing up with enthusiasm, by focusing on what you want, by showing up with power, it creates that momentum where you don't have to effort in your business. Like, yes, do I get up at 5 a.m. and start working on my business? Yes, I do that. I'm part of as Kate Kozart would say, the 5 a.m. club, but it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. It is this effortless pull that I truly love what I do. And you get to design your life. I call it your having it all life. When you operate from this level of taking radical ownership of your life and your business and every part of your life, you get to be the creator and you design it all. So you are not powerless to anything in your life. You always have a choice. And you can start making new choices every single day, even if they're scary, because that is going to shift the timeline and accelerate the timeline of achieving that goal. So the more you embody the energy of the person that would already have the 10K months, that would already have the dashboard full of clients and work 15-hour weeks, whatever that is for you, you're having it all life. Like, I want to work from home. I want to be with my little baby girl over here, my little Penny. That's my desire. So you get to have it all, and you get to have people dropping in for you when you show up in this way. So that is how you create a client vortex. That's how you create momentum in your business, by aligning these different energetic pieces. When you show up excited, other people are going to be excited about your offers if it's in alignment. I'll tell a quick story. Actually, I think it's important also to tell you stories of when things didn't work out. I was just talking to Tiffany Reuter about this today. So sometimes you'll think something's so in alignment and it feels good and you go for it. And maybe this is like a client conversation where you're like, oh my God, I really want to work with this client. And it's a no for now. I'm going to share a story quickly about a failure. I don't even call it a failure, but something that, I just applied for recently and I got denied for it. So APHA has something called a farm talk, and it's kind of like a TED Talk style where you pick a topic and you can talk about it at the annual conference. So I applied. The title of this year's conference is like Inspiring Voices or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. I can do this. Well, I applied, and then I got an email a couple of weeks ago that they declined my application. And I was like, literally, I was like, okay. I just kept going because, again, it doesn't mean anything about me. It just wasn't what they were looking for in that moment. Doesn't mean that I'm going to completely let my excitement balloon get deflated and be like, oh, I can't do this. See, look, I always get denied, or see, nothing works out for me. No, I get back into alignment and I say, okay, where are the other opportunities? I'm going to keep my focus on infinite possibilities, and something else is going to drop in, and everything is always working out for me, and things are dropping in every single day. I get new partnerships and referrals and connections and abundance. That is my mindset. And it's so true. That's what happens for me. That's what shows up. There's a side hustle. Okay. So what if we shifted, Marlene, to this is not just a side hustle, this is your life's work. And so if God were sitting downstairs and was giving you divine ideas and downloads and inspiration to fulfill that mission, what would you do? Because that's what's happening when you get divine ideas and inspiration. Think of that. God's like, tap, tap, tap. Hey, go execute this. So, Marlene, for you, I think you can declare that, like, I want you to start showing up with that deep devotion to the fact that this is a mission, that you are being given these ideas, you're being given this impulse on your heart, and to follow it because it's all there for you. The abundance is there. Everything is right here for everybody. And it's not just for other people, and it's not just for me. I'm nothing special. I am just a person who is deeply devoted and committed to listening to my intuition and following it. And that is what I do every single time I get a divine download. I'm like, okay, guess I'm writing another book. Guess I'm hosting Aligned and Abundant. Guess I'm doing the damn thing. There's nothing that separates you from me. You guys can do this too. It's anchoring into that certainty and conviction. Now is my time to make my business flourish. Absolutely. I'm going to create abundance in my life so I continue. Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of it. And I promised God a long time ago, as corny as this sounds, I said, when I wasn't so profitable in my business, I said, if you pour abundance into my life, I promise to circulate it. And to this day, I do that. I'm always giving. And if I get an impulse to, like, Deanne Valls, I think, is in this group as well. She's probably going to be watching the replay. Like, she just had a little grandbaby. And I was like, oh, I want to send her this book. Send it on Amazon. Like, I just get the impulse and I give. I just circulate my wealth. I circulate my abundance. For the book, we're giving back to Asha's scholarship. And that's the beauty of how God wants to use you. Because if we're like this and we can't receive, it's not doing anybody any good. You need to be able to receive so you can circulate it back. And I know each and every one of you is going to do that. You're going to give back to your community, to your family, to the world in so many beautiful ways. That is what effortless abundance is. It's that beautiful circulation of energy, the giving and receiving. We can't just give, we have to also be open to receive. So, yeah, I can't wait for you all to read um, Expanding Your Brilliance. It's so powerful the way that it was channeled to me. Any other thoughts, questions? I'm going to open it up for just, sorry, my nose is running right now. Whatever, whatever Lindsay gave me this week. Because, babies love to give us germs. Any questions? Anywhere that you're getting stuck in your business right now? All right. And Janet, I am celebrating you like big time. Janet just committed to coaching with me, and I'm so excited. So excited for you. This is just the beginning. And there's so many things in store, little surprises I have up my sleeve. So, okay, absolutely. So I know that these lives, I'm throwing a lot at you, but I want to accelerate your path so that you can, feel free. Like, I'm going to keep this group open for probably another week or two. We still have another live on Thursday. So Thursday, and I don't have my calendar with me, I believe it's at 12 o'clock Eastern, but we have one more day together. So if anything comes through, if you're watching the replay and you have questions, let me know. I'm here to be of service to you. If you're getting stuck, if you're finding like, I'm stuck here in my business, the energy's not moving, let's work it out together. Because think about it. When you say you feel stuck, it's stuck energy. So let's clear the path so you can move forward with momentum and power and speed and focus this year. Working on my schedule today. I'm going to listen to the replays, create content to attract clients. The five-day challenge, more visible and get more clients. Okay, what's the 5-day challenge going to be called? Let me know. I want to show you guys something really quick while Marlene's doing this. So how cool is this shirt? So look, there's a back and it's reversible. So I can wear it either way. I thought this was really cool. I don't know. I like to make this fun too, not just so heavy or about business. So let's see what this looks like actually here. Strip it in front of you guys. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Okay, this is cool too. I like this way. All right. So whenever this is actually something helpful, whenever you're naming a program or an offering, I want you to think and say it out loud. Does this feel alive to me? Would I want to come to this thing? And actually, wow, I really like it this way. This is really cute. And there's little pearls at the bottom. Okay, anyway, back to back to focus, said Tara. I'm just stripping in front of you guys today. So think about, is this magnetic? Is this something that speaks to the result that this person is going to get? So as an example, I was just helping one of my one-on-one clients create a magnetic title for her masterclass. And she was going to call it What I Didn't Learn in Health Class. And I said to her, okay, I get what you're saying here, but let's dial up the magnetism. And let's really speak to the result that this person's going to get as a result of coming on this masterclass. And we decided on Radiantly Restored. And the tagline was like, your path to understanding perimenopause with confidence and clarity, or whatever it was. We really nailed it. And so I want you to think about the result. So as an example, aligned and abundant. It's pretty clear what you're going to learn here. Or monetize your magic, or soulful strategic sales, confident client attraction. It doesn't have to be word alliteration, but think about how can you dial that up a little bit more, Marlene. Thursday, I needed this boost so much today as I'm preparing. Yes. Okay. Melissa, let me know. Where are you struggling? What do you need support with? First class on Thursday. Path is sounds hard. Okay. But what is the juicy result that they're going to get as a result of that master class? It's going to be a great class. Oh, thanks, Janet. See, look at all the love in this room already. So, just for the sake of time, I am going to wrap up here because I know that everybody is, you know, at work or has other things going on, but I am going to pop back in. So, Marlene, think about that. What is like a magnetic title, 3 words, blank, your blank, or 2 words, something very succinct that they are going to get as a result of coming on that master class. Think about that. Sometimes ideas drop in the shower or after a workout, anything like that. So I will leave you with that. And your homework, actually, I almost left without homework because I know that I had that somewhere here, and it's going to be posting in the group as well. If I can find it. Okay. Okay, so your homework is, what are you ready to take ownership of? What victim stories can you let go of? So there's going to be another Canva image. It'll be posted in the Facebook group. Go ahead and answer that. And again, I'm really celebrating all of you because this work is not easy. It's not easy to own. It's easy to own sometimes like the good things about your strong suit or your strengths, but to look at your shadows is a little bit dicey. So I'm celebrating each and every one of you for having the courage to do this work because I know it's not always easy. And sounds 3 words. Sounds good. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, let me know if you have questions for me. Again, I'm here for you. Can't wait for the final day, which is going to be all about momentum. So how to create this momentum and keep it going. And in the meantime, have an amazing day. All right. Talk soon.